So I will give a overview of the ShellCrack project and how we use models to tackle these very problems that we have, or use the many different tools that we have gotten acquainted with from Pavel now. So ShellCrack is a RFCS project bringing together 10 partners over the entire length of Europe, as you can see. So I will skip that. So just to give you some background information to the problem we're trying to solve. So we want to develop a crack criterion for continuous casting, and it boils down to a reduced ductility in the mushy zone, which is the semi-solid region during the in the strand, and the stresses here originating from thermal contractions and bulging and bending of the strand that forms this or generates this crack. And if we look at this is a different picture than what Pavel showed, but it's the same principle. So we have different regions of sensitivity within the strand. So we have a semi-solid region and a mold region, and a secondary cooling region. So some cracks are generated up in the mold, and some are generated down in the secondary cooling. And we have these ductility troughs where we have reduced ductility or zero ductility. So in the high temperature region, we have risk for hot tearing, which is in the mold part. And we have 1 or 2 ductility troughs in the lower temperature region, caused by different phases near the grain boundaries. So to bring this into an overview picture, so the cracking relates to the process parameters, the chemical composition, and the microstructure evolution during the casting. And that is what we try to bring together in this project. So it's a very multidisciplinary, complex problem. And how can we use models to close this loop? So let me see if I can zoom in here. So this cracking criteria, these are the tools and data that we want to bring together and connect with our main tools. So in the consortium, we have, let me see here, we have a mold crack simulator where we can experimentally simulate the shell formation during casting and induce a strain which makes the shell crack. And we can see at what places the shell cracks and get some information out of that. Now this is a quite time-consuming and expensive experiment. So we can develop a model to be able to do more virtual experiments. So then we can try a lot more parameters as long as we capture the main dynamics of the experimental setup. And we also have material models to bring together the thermomechanical properties over the entire range of temperatures. And we have samples taken out from the process to characterize and give us microstructural information. And this we can connect and also get detailed input into a phase field model, where we get this lowest scale that Pavel mentioned, to see how the individual dendrites grow. And from this, and as you know, the length scales are very broad here. So on the other scale, we have our digital twin, where we can simulate the macroscopic happenings in the mold, and the slag infiltration and the shell growth from a macro perspective. So now we have a gap here. How do we bridge this gap? And I think that was part of what Michele asked about as well. So we have one model for the mold, and we have another model for the secondary cooling, where we can have a traveling slice going through the whole secondary cooling region and describe the entire solidification length. And to bridge the macro with the micro scale, we can use this cafe model approach, or the cellular automaton coupled with finite element. And here we can use results from the micro model and get nucleation densities that we input into this mesoscale model. And this is coupled with this slice approach. And here we can get the grain sizes and grain structure, basically. And that we can bring into another model, into a FEM model, and look at the strains forming in the shell. And where we have the maximum strains, we can develop this criterion for when a crack occurs. And any model needs validation data. So we also have some advanced sensors looking at 2D maps of temperature within the mold, optical triangulations of corners, and reveal cost optical imaging of the surface. And with that, we can correlate or bring these measurements together and get an idea of what's where the effects occur, and then compare that with our modeling results to get some understanding of where and why the defects occur. And in support for this, we have lab scale experiments looking at thermomechanical behavior of the different materials that go into the material models, and look at and we also have a crack model and CalFAD tools that give us phase transformations, and we bring this together in a theory base, and from there we can understand the mechanisms of the crack formation, or get some idea of it anyway. So this is the entire complexity of ShellCrack. We have a lot of models bridging over the knowledge gaps and trying to get the benefit or the synergies of all of these techniques to bring a new type of cracking criteria. So with that, I will open up for some questions.
Thank you so much, Niels. Anyone got any questions for Niels? If not, once again, thank you so much, Niels. And if someone comes up with a question later, we also have the Q&A session at the end of the evening. So please think about if you have more questions. Then we can move on to Thomas, who is going to give a presentation about the ShellCrack Sunshine. So I believe Thomas is here, right?
Yes, but I suppose that Nora will start the presentation.
I will begin.
Yes, Nora, but there's an echo. Yeah.
So can you hear me now correctly?
Yes.
Yes, great. So I will make the introduction to Sunshine project. And Shailis, as you mentioned, this presentation will be made by me, that I'm Nora Hido from Sidenor R&D, and also by Thomas from the University of Oulu. So what I wanted to do is the introduction to the Sunshine project. So first of all, introduce to the audience the issue that is addressed by this project. Well, we all know that certain steel plates are prone to specific defects due to several reasons. For example, because of microalloy elements additions, or because of the low carbon requirements of the steel plates, for example, or also due to segregation of certain elements. So the challenge for steel makers is that all of our work quality controls are typically carried out at the very end of our process. So at that time, when a defect is found, the product has to be scrapped. So Sunshine project, its aim at an early detection of these defects and to identify, as it's they're written, with the support of inline model sensors and also models, incorrect process conditions which might lead to these kind of defects, which can be shape or surface quality project, but in their scarce products. So this is the main approach of the Sunshine project. So in order to overcome this Sunshine project. We are all these partners in this project funded by the European Union. From the industrial partners, we have Feralpi Group and Acciaierie d'Italia from Italy. In Germany, we have Dillinger, and in Spain, an industrial partner, which is Sidenor. From the academia and research centers, we find this project BFI from Germany, the University of Oulu, which is contributing to this presentation, and finally RINA, which is coordinating the project. This project is coordinated by Orlando Di Prieto. So this is the project approach. And I will explain now a little bit Sidenor use case, and which is one of these, and which is the approach, how we are going to tackle with this problem of early detection of defects. So the first best step that we have carried out during the project is that we have reviewed our historical standard quality assessment results. And we have focused overall on contour instabilities and also the occurrence of some surface and internal defects. So the idea of reviewing this standard quality assessment is to detect, to spot relevant steel grades and being able to connect with their related defects. And we have chosen some of these, some steel grades to be analyzed and studied through the project. So in order, now what we have done with these steel grades is to collect process parameters, steel compositions and quality data, and also we have gather also the information we have about our continuous caster configuration. And with this, we have made a package, and we have sent this information to the University of Oulu. They will support us with modeling our continuous casting process. And the outcome will be solidification modeling and also the identification of some quality indexes, which Tuomas will talk afterwards, and they will help us to detect sensitive process conditions which may lead to these defects that I have previously mentioned. So the idea of this Sunshine contribution in this Metacast project is to show an example of how modeling can help us, an industrial partner, to face a challenge, which is the early detection of defects. So with this, I leave the floor to Tuomas so he can further explain the modeling approach to our problem. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nora. Now it's time for Thomas to shine. So the stage is yours, Thomas.
Thank you for the introduction. I will try and share the screen. I suppose you see it now.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for the invitation and introduction to this Metacast solidification webinar. My name is Tuomas Alatarvas. I'm working as a postdoc in the Process Metallurgy Research Unit, and the other authors of this presentation are doctoral researcher Julius Norrena and the group leader of secondary metallurgy and continuous casting group in the Process Metallurgy Research Unit, Professor Chifeng Xu. And also credit goes to former professor Dr. Seppo Louhenkilpi, with whom we have a close collaboration with, and he's also actually one of the supervisors for Julius' work. So very happy to have you also in here. Okay, so here is the outline of my presentation. I will give a short introduction to the activities in the Sunshine project and also give an introduction also to the modeling tools that we are using in this project and the modeling approach. So how exactly we are using these tools and how to interpret the results. And I will also show a small case study results for a CDNO case, what we have done in the Sunshine project. So our activities in the Sunshine project are mostly related to the work package number 3, named as modeling setup and reference cases simulation. And as the title suggests, the objectives of this work package are setting up these modeling tools, including solidification, heat transfer, and also thermomechanics. Rina is also doing CFD modeling and such, but these activities showcase what the University of Oulu activities are. And also we apply these solidification and microstructure models to obtain cast-specific quality indices in the project. And these results can be also used to determine the recommended casting conditions for upcoming industrial trials in the project. Okay, so if we move to the tools that we are using, the most important one is the IDS software. The abbreviation comes from the name interdendritic solidification, and as you can see in the figure, the calculations are carried out in a volume element of a half a dendrite arm, so to say. So, like the title suggests, it's the simulation goes in a very small volume within the interdendritic region. The main assumptions for the calculations are also listed in the slide. So there has been an extensive literature review and survey on the CCT diagrams, which is used as the base for the austenite decomposition. And also thermodynamic data is used for the austenite to ferrite formation, for example, and also the formation of non-metallic inclusions. So, for example, alumina inclusions or calcium sulfides, for example, which can be present already in the liquid melt. But for precipitates that are forming below the solidus temperature, kinetics are also taken into account. And for the austenite grain growth, empirical formula is used. And the IDS is a modular software which contains different kinds of modules. The most important ones are the solidification module, which takes into account the solidification region from 1600 to 900 degrees or so. And below that temperature, the austenite decomposition module, ADC, takes place and calculates what happens to the prior austenite grains during the cooling of the material. And as inputs, we only need the nominal composition of the steel and the cooling rate. So the cooling rate can be either input as fixed or constant cooling rate, or then we can use temperature profiles. And the output of IDS contains different kind of data as a function of temperature. So, for example, phase and compound fractions at any given temperature, and also solute composition profiles. So those can be used to track the microstructure evolution during the solidification and cooling, but also we get these kind of quality indices that can be used for defect prediction and so on. So as an example of these quality indices, there are different kinds of indices that are related to the volumetric shrinkage of the material during cooling. So for example, quality indices STR and SHE are related to the ferrite to austenite phase transformation, a little bit of different temperatures, and the quality index for austenite depicts the volumetric shrinkage due to liquid to austenite phase transformation. And a couple of other examples are the quality indices for solutes, which depicts the amount of microsegregation of sulfur and phosphorus and boron in the interdendritic liquid during the solidification. But also there are quality indices related to precipitate formation, QI DUG for example, and also decreased ductility due to increased austenite grain size. And as these quality indices are always related to some phenomena that are taking place during the solidification in the mold or other region, they also can be attributed to certain defect types. So for example, for longitudinal surface cracking, certain quality indices are most important to that, but for transfer corner cracking, we can think of other quality indices that are more important to us. And then to the next modeling tool, TempSimu, which is a three-dimensional heat transfer model. Here we also can see some main assumptions to the TempSimu calculations. So we assume a symmetry in the cast strand, and also the solidus and liquidus temperature are always constant. So these are actually input as IDS results to the TempSimu. And also the solidification takes place by directional growth, and the material behavior is isotropic. For TempSimu, we need as input most importantly material data, machine data, process data, and there are other parameters as well. So the material data is always specific to the steel composition that we are simulating, and this needs to be first calculated by IDS before inputting it into the TempSimu calculations. And for machine data, we need the mold geometry and other properties, and also the caster configuration in the secondary cooling zone. That is rolls and nozzles, their types and locations, and so on. So essentially a geometric construction of the continuous caster. And also we utilize the process data in these calculations. So for example, which is the superheat for certain steel grade and the casting speed. Also the secondary cooling water temperature and their flow rates to each nozzles can be also thought as process parameters. And for fine-tuning of the simulations, there are other parameters as well, including liquid mixing coefficient and heat transfer coefficient in the different regions of the strand. And as an output from TempSimu, we will get these steady state strand temperatures. Here is an example result of the calculations. So we can track the temperature evolution in different parts of of the continuous casting strand. So for example, what is the temperature evolution in the core or in the mid phases of the strand or in the corner. Also, any location of these can be extracted as a cooling curve and used as an input in the IDS calculations. And because we have this strand temperature profile for the whole strand, we also get as a result, for example, the shell thickness in different section of the strand or the liquid pool length, for example. And also we have the extracted heat from the mold in the primary cooling zone also. And the newest version of TempSimu also includes the thermomechanical module, which depicts the tension caused by bending or straightening in the strand, either in the surface or solidification front. So that's something that we will also utilize in the Sunshine project. And then, which are the benefits of coupling these modeling tools? So we can, like I mentioned, we can utilize these TempSimu calculated steady-state temperature profiles as IDS input for cooling rate. And the benefits of using strand temperatures instead of constant cooling rates can be listed as that we can utilize these different temperatures in the continuous casting strand, for example, which is the temperature difference between the corner and the mid phase of the strand, and estimate the stress because of that. And also, which are the temperatures in the bending or unbending zones of the continuous caster, and what is their relation to the stress formed in the strand. And another interesting aspect is that which are the formation temperatures of different precipitates in the strand, and how they are related to the bending or unbending zones. So that is one of the defect formation aspects also. And the modeling approach in the Sunshine project can be listed or simplified as two different kind of approaches. So the first one is the default cooling rate approach, where we use this fixed cooling rate with intervals in the solidification module from 1600 to 900, and below that 900 to 25. As input data, we also only need these measured steel compositions from a steel plant, and as results, we can see that which are the steel grades tendency for defects, and identify the critical quality indices that needs to be considered in the next steps. And because we are using only this default cooling rate in the first approach, the results or this method is not specific to caster or strand dimensions. It's only specific to this certain steel grades that we are investigating. But if we want to dig a little bit deeper and couple the IDS and TempSimu calculations together, then we use these TempSimu calculated profiles as the cooling rate. So in this case, we need as input data the composition of the steel, like in the earlier one, but also this caster configuration and process data, and also cast quality or shape uniformity or other quality data for certain heats. And as results, we can investigate these reasons for different kind of defects. So whether they are a result of cooling asymmetry or events in the bending or unbending locations, or other risks that are related to quality indices. And this will be specific to caster and process data. So for example, if we use a certain casting speed or certain superheat, it's always specific to those process data as well. And finally, I can present a case study with the Sidenor steel grade. In the first step, we used this default cooling rate approach for alloyed case hardening in steel with 240 times 240 millimeters cast dimension, which was reported as prone to bulging and surface defects. And the objective here was to identify relevant quality indices for this steel grade. The input data included more than 300 heat compositions, and those were all calculated with the IDS software. And as results, I can present, for example, these quality index STR as a function of carbon content. So each of these markers here present one of the heats, and the carbon content is here reported as related to the average in the data set. So and the same goes for this quality index for austenite. And here we can see that if we decrease the carbon content, we have a higher QI STR, which can account for surface defects risk in the mold. But on the other hand, then we have a lower quality index for this austenite formation. So that's also related to microsegregation, and with lower values we observe less microsegregation for sulfur in this case. So it's a bit of like finding a compromise between those two quality indices. And moving forward, we also can observe the effect of solidification range, so the length of massy shown to the quality index of solutes in the interdendritic region, and also the relation between the manganese sulfides formed before and after solidus. And in this case, if we have a higher QI sol, that means we have a higher solute enrichment in the interdendritic region, and also reduced hot ductility near solidus. And also here on the manganese sulfide side, we can see that which is the amount of the manganese sulfides forming before and after solidus, and try to optimize the formation temperature, because it is known that for the defect formation, these precipitates forming after solidus are more detrimental. So this was a small presentation of how to investigate and identify these critical quality indices for different kinds of steel grades using industrial data. As a summary, I can conclude that using IDS we can first investigate these steel grade specific phenomenological quality indices, and also utilizing TempSimu we can obtain more accurate temperature profiles which can be used as IDS inputs. And these results can be used to estimate the effect of process made parameters on the quality indices, and therefore also the defect formation. And we are planning also, there are plans in the Sunshine project to also conduct these industrial casting trials, and these simulations will also support those recommendations. And here are some references also, if you are interested in how to couple these IDS and TempSimu calculations to machine learning and quality prediction. I also encourage you to take a look on the recent articles by Julius Norrena. So there are 3 different journal articles that are already published on that topic. So please have a look if you are interested in these. So thank you for your interest.